then eventually I get home and the cops are in my house.
What?
And I'm like, oh no. So I walk inside. My parents are talking to them. And the dudes found my address that I sold to, and they pulled up at my house, knocked on the door to try to talk to my parents. They're like yelling at them through the door. And so my dad like told them to leave and yelled at them. And then my mom called the cops because she was like, what in the world? So...
Good. Testing.
Testing these nuts, boy.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive Podcast. We dive deep into extremely controversial subjects and also interview some pretty amazing people. Thank you for listening or watching, whichever one you're doing. If you find us inspiring, go try subscribing. I've been doing it for a while now, but still got a little itches here and there.
It's our 8th episode.
Huh?
Right, 8th.
It's our 8th. Sorry, we took an unintentional break last week. Or I guess 2 or 3 weeks ago when this would be releasing. Sorry, it was unintentional. I was at the lake where the Wi-Fi is just complete garbanzo beans. I mean, it is horrible. I started uploading the video, and it took 47 hours for 6% of the video to upload.
Have you uploaded videos at the lake before?
Just like my little YouTube, like 4 to 5 minute videos. But this is like an hour long. So
that's a lot of...
Anyways, I said, frick that. This is a clean podcast, so I said, frick that.
PG-13.
Yeah, maybe we might switch it up to PG-13. I don't know. And I scratched it, told everybody we're going to take a 1 week break, and we're back. Well, we were back last week. We had the hot sauce. World's hottest sauce.
Yes,
that hasn't released yet.
So that's the video before this one, but you got
peep it.
That was insane.
When I say that hot sauce, that's like not okay. And now I have a higher because my I just got this Torchy's place opened up.
Yeah.
So we
It's
got
taco
it
place.
for the first time this week. I don't remember which day, but they got this queso. I don't know what the queso is called because my dad ordered it, but it's like there's like guacamole kind of like mixed in with it. It's really good. But my sister, my brother, my dad are like, oh, this is way... Like, my dad's a pretty high spice tolerance. They're, oh, this is way too spicy. I can't eat this. I'm just like, it's not that bad. And I'm thinking, like...
Oh, compared to what we
had. I
had.
know why. It's because I just ate this hot sauce and it burned my taste buds off.
It's called Mad Dog 357.
It's ridiculous.
By the way. And just judging off the name, it's like, come on.
It's insane.
Anyways. But yeah, we're going to start our full-on like segment right here real quick. We're going to bring on 2 amazing guests today to talk about a business that has just been booming like crazy currently. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2 guys who are major resellers throughout the city. One who focuses on mainly shoes, while the other focuses mainly on clothing. But the knowledge they have about the reselling industry as a whole cannot be matched. Let's bring them on. Oh wait, they're right here. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Mr. George Perkins and Mr. Dabo Goldstein.
Dabo
Goldstein.
It's an honor to be on here. My first
I'm the only one
podcast episode
clapping.
ever.
At Boosted Released on Instagram.
So
Dabo.kicks, at Hypus at Tim the Tatman Kicks.
Yeah, at Kansas Hype, at Mason Fly Kicks.
All right, so we're going to pose a question just real quick. All right. Start it off, like always. What is your favorite piece of clothing and favorite shoe? If you could just get anyone you wanted.
George, go first, because I'm George with a lineup of clothes.
You know, George knows just one.
Clothing.
If you got to pick one. Just your favorite. You don't have to have it. Just something that you could have.
I'll tell you my favorite piece of clothing. I don't own it.
Okay.
I was about to buy it, and I decided against it because it's kind of a waste of money.
Mm-hmm.
But if you guys like Supreme, it's kind of fell off. Yeah, everybody knows Supreme.
Yeah, it did.
The clothing brand. It's kind of fell off in recent years, but back in, I want to say FW17, Fall Winter 17, they dropped the Supreme Sideline hoodies. So they're classic, and it's basically two-tone. It's classic, like Supreme font. I would say next to like a box logo, those are pretty hyped up, but they rarely ever drop them. But they basically had a KU colorway, like the exact like blue red combination. Mm-hmm. And so I wanted that for the longest time. I found somebody with a 9 out of 10 condition one on Instagram for like $200, but at the same time, like I never really wear Supreme. I mean, it's such a cool piece of clothing, but it's just kind of a waste of money for me.
Oh yeah.
So
how do you know how much it is?
Brand new, I think it goes for around $400, $500.
Okay.
But used is at the $200 because they're big drop off because of the rarity.
Yeah.
Shoe. That's a really tough one. There's like any shoe I could own right now.
Easy.
It would probably be those Complex Con Off-White Air Forces. Those are insanely clean.
I'll put all these up on the screen. I'll do that for the editing.
The favorite ones that I own right now, I would probably have to say either Stussy Air Forces or...
Stussy Air Forces?
Stussy. Okay. It's a brand. Stussy. Yeah, Stussy Air Forces. Amogus collab. Or Concord Bread 11 Lows. I wear those all the time.
Okay. Nice. What do you...
All right, for clothes...
Were you researching them?
I was trying to think of... there's too many on my list to really put it down, but... even though I wouldn't wear Supreme now, but like one of my all-time favorite pieces is it was like a Supreme North Face collab. It was it's like kind of like a winter jacket. It was released in 2018. This one actually,
the mountain one.
I'll put it on the screen, but it's white and then the chest is a bit red with black on top. It's so clean.
Okay,
interesting.
I was thinking about buying it, but I didn't want to drop like $700 on it at the time, so I was like, hold off on that.
Shoes for me, it's like I can like justify my spending of them because I know like for a lot of them, if I buy them right at release date or around there, they're by the time, like in a couple years at least, they're gonna be higher in price than brand new, so I can sell them for at least what I paid.
Yeah, or
clothes, I can't really do that because clothes is just like the market's way smaller than shoes. I mean, way smaller.
Way smaller?
Well,
yeah,
way more saturated too. There's so many different brands.
That's true.
That's what I was gonna say.
I mean, if you look at like StockX, for example, if the viewers know what that is.
It's like a sneaker marketplace.
It's like marketplace. But like if you look at like the sales, like the highest selling shoe, like because they say like the most popular, like directly after release, it's probably like it's up to 30,000 pairs. There's like a different release, and it's usually around like 10,000. With clothes, it's like on a after release, it's like maybe 2,000 units.
Maybe 2,000.
And like on like a usual day, it's around like 1,000, 1,500 for the top seller. So that's why I say like. I mean, maybe I would say less people are buying clothes on StockX. I guess a lot of people, buy them in stores. But like, you can rock cool like vintage stuff or just regular brands that nobody, really cares about.
Yeah,
but they look great.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess
the shoes really make it pop out.
Oh yeah, you. What about shoes?
My favorite shoes. I actually own one of my favorite shoes of all time. It was, really? I like the undefeated Air Max 97s. They're pretty sick.
Those are so clean. They're really cool.
Yeah,
you don't wear them though, do you? Or do you?
No, I wore them because I got them. I got them like used, like lightly used. So those are sick. And then also, I don't know. I mean, I still like a classic like red Air Jordan 1. Can't really go wrong there. I don't think I could pull that off personally, but like looks wise and like how classic it is, it's on my list.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And the undefeated dunks.
Yeah. Kith Air Forces are one of my favorite shoes.
There you
go. Like the friends and family ones.
Those Kith Ultra Boost, remember those back in the day? Those are huge.
Those are huge.
Okay.
Those are very huge.
Yeah.
I know Nathan's.
The
Lego Ultra Boost.
Oh, no. What about the
it was the off-white one's UNC color because he asked me about them because he's gonna buy replicas.
Yeah, I was gonna buy.
I respect it.
Yeah.
I don't know. They weren't that. They were pretty cheap, so I was like, whatever. All right.
So,
what are you guys' resellers' names? Here you go. Just for the.
I could buy Dabo Kicks on Instagram.
There you go.
I don't really sell on Instagram that much anymore. I haven't posted since December 2019.
What do you do then?
I sell like on like eBay. I sold on Facebook. I sell on like Instagram to people that I just know through like Discord. Like I met them through Discord, and then I just sell them. I like message them on Instagram now.
What about? Do you do
it
too much?
I go by boosted release, and I'm not as heavy like anymore. Kind of passed the torch on to Dabo, and he's going crazy now. But I'd say my prime was like a couple of years ago. Like I was up there, but
it's not boosted release.
Okay.
Boosted release, yeah. That's just a random name I came up with.
He still pulls up to the local conventions and sells a ton of stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, people love the clothes.
The clothes do get crazy.
The clothes really get crazy at events.
Yeah. So how did you guys get into the business? Because I'm assuming you don't just start up by going up to somebody.
I asked George that first because my answer kind of like realized.
Just off of him, or
go. I want him to answer first.
Because you don't just go up to somebody and be like, "Can I get shoes?" It's like shoes. Like, that's not how you.
Well, I actually don't know how George got into it. To be honest.
So I was I was on YouTube one day, and this YouTuber named Kais Omar came up on my recommended page of him at a sneaker event called SneakerCon. It's like a huge convention. And this guy, I mean, he was popping back then. He was huge on YouTube, so I watched him, like, this kind of sick. Because, like, I've always liked buying and selling, like, just, like, business, like, kind of stuff like that. And so then I'm like, yo, I want to, like, this is pretty cool. So then I actually went to a SneakerCon in Chicago. And,
that was your first one?
Yeah, my first one. Yeah. So I went there with a terrible outfit on. I was wearing, like, Kyrie 3s with, like, awful fit.
Oh, man.
And so I was, like, I would see all the YouTubers. I was like, dude, these guys are, like, just so sick. Yeah, literally Blazendary, Kais Omar, like with it. And so I see them, I'm like, these dudes are insane.
Petru.
Yeah. So I was on my birthday, so then I went and bought a pair of shoes at Adidas. They're just to wear because I was like, I don't know if I can do the selling stuff at that time. Yeah. So I bought the pair of shoes, got the Ultra Boosts, wore them for a while. I like literally treated them like my baby. I was so
know about the Tisbol Kicks Parley Ultra Boost review.
Yep. Deleted YouTube video, made a shoe review on them on YouTube, tried to get the YouTube sneaker channel going. Didn't really take off. So I did that. And then I started getting interested in the business side of it. And then Supreme, which we were talking about earlier, I started going for some drops. Built up like inventory. I just like sell to kids at my school, like small items like stickers and like keychains, stuff like that.
Yeah. And then scammed me so hard. $8 for an Air Mag keychain.
Yes, sir.
That's what would it normally be?
I mean, like $199.
That's funny.
So,
hey, but you were the one who
I bought it. Yeah, I bought it. I thought I was gonna be so dope.
I was a great marketer back then.
My Nike Elite backpack, you know, remember those?
You get one extra gum for.
Exactly. I get. we were trading back in the day, but and then kind of just got bigger and bigger, and now my account is. That's where it's at. So, and then Dabo can talk about how he kind of.
Then you just.
Well, actually, I mean that like, the reason I got into it was because of George and then also Jake.
Okay.
Stilnend viewers don't know, but like they were huge back in 8th grade. Everybody, everybody wanted stuff from them. Like because like at that time, like everything was just local. Everything was Kansas City local. Like the other middle school and high school, like Blue Valley West, Blue Valley. I think even some people from North.
Yeah.
But it was really just George and Jake, and and so I remember, I don't know, I was just interested in them at one point, and the Blue Tint Yeezy release was 2018 December.
During basketball season.
I sat, so I didn't know. You can open like multiple tabs on like Adidas or Yeezy. They do on Yeezy Supply now, but back in the day there was like a queue on Adidas, and you could open multiple profiles on like different Chrome users
to try to get
multiple things in the queue. Okay. I didn't know that, so I just had one profile, and I sat and like those releases used to be super. Like now they're like 30 minutes. They used to be day-long events.
Oh, really?
So I sat on that computer for 8 hours, and I finally got to the checkout page. Got my size, which actually was a half size too big. I didn't realize it until...
What, did you buy 12?
I bought a size 12. I didn't realize until like a year later I'm a true size 11 and a half. But besides the point. And so I got those. I think they were selling for around $450, I want to say. And they've gone all the way up to, I think, around $700 now. So I could have sold them if I wanted. I remember George had a couple pairs too. Because I remember I FaceTimed it about it because I was so excited. Yeah. And so
that kind of
I
just
decided to
set
wear
you
those.
off to...
Yeah, I like treated those like they're like my children.
That first shoe is just...
It's so cringe. It's so cringy.
But it's like so important to you. Like the first shoe you get, you treat it so highly. I mean, you don't want anyone.
And they're restocking this year, so I sold my pair almost 2 years ago now. Okay. So I'm gonna get that restock in December and get it back.
Yes, sir.
You have to. The amount of times you talked about it, you better.
Yeah, and so I remember what I was thinking was because then the following year, and I went to LA. During the time which SneakerCon LA was happening, not because of SneakerCon LA. And so I had been watching the YouTubers like George had, but really because George had. And so I went, actually Jake on Stilnend was there too. So I met him there. And we went to the convention, and I mean, I was like, these guys are just insane. Like I want all these shoes. I want to buy them all and wear them all. And so I remember thinking like that was my exact moment of, because I want to say like in my total amount of money I had that I had saved like from birthdays, everything from I don't even know when, because I didn't really spend any money. I didn't buy anything besides like maybe an occasional trip to Walgreens. So I had about $500.
It's a good investment.
I had about $500, and so I was like $500, like about like 2 pairs of shoes, right?
Yeah,
if I had like one really high pair of shoes. So like I might see one of those like cringe Instagram thing. It's like, you could $100 you can buy things for $20 and sell each for $5 profit. Now you have and then you get like that $20 thing. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I was like, I need to start sounding like George and Jake, because then I'm getting on that train. And so I made Hypest Kicks at Brody Wayman's Lake House with Jake and George there. Yeah. I didn't actually post on it until the end of the summer.
That was your Instagram name, Hypest Kicks.
Yeah, and it was Hypest isn't even a word. So
he's a great.
Yeah,
he was just so ready to make it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and so that's really the reason. I was like, I want to buy more of these cool shoes, so I gotta find a way to make the money for them. And then
gotta be a hypest.
Let me down a path to where I really didn't buy that many shoes, to be honest. Like, like there's certain points where I'm like, I'm just gonna literally sell all my inventory and just buy every single shoe I wanted. But then I realized how pointless that is, because I don't even. Like, I just wear these 6 out of 7 days a week. I'm just wearing these shoes.
It's still good to have like.
I love to wear like my mono ice Yeezys, which I just got, or Concord Bred 11s.
Yeah.
Like those. Like, I rarely wear anything else, to be honest, other than those shoes that I have. So but that's completely off topic. But that's how I started. Thanks to the man across the table. If it wasn't for George and Jake, I wouldn't be in it at all.
So you got 2 Excel sheets with just a bunch of information on it.
I have 3.
Is that how you got 3 now?
My third one just like personal expenses. I guess it's not related to business.
Yeah.
In business.
But you still got all that stuff. Do you do any sort of? You probably do some sort of tracking.
George all that stuff too. Yeah, he has a huge book.
No, I converted it. I have Excel now. I have 3 different sheets, but the third one I don't remember.
You mean like writing on a book, or you mean like?
I had a notebook at the start when I was doing like only like a couple transactions a week.
Seeing that, yeah.
But now when I kind of got bigger and bigger, I just did an Excel sheet and made it a running total. I have one for like running value and one for profits.
Yeah. All right, so one of you, give me a scenario real quick. Like, you're meeting up with a dude to resell, if that's even a verb.
Like I'm buying from or selling from?
No, like I don't know. Okay, whatever. You're going up to him, break it down. Like, tell me what happens. What's the interaction? Is it weird or is it awkward?
Like, sometimes there's some cringe kids.
It was a planned out thing, or like you just meet somebody at an event or something.
No, like a planned out thing. You're gonna meet up and you're gonna.
It can't be cringe. Usually you're just like yo, are you? Person, make sure, and then you're like, yo, what's up? And you dap him up at the beginning, and then, and then you're like, he's like, yeah, appreciate you, man, coming out here, or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you hand him the shoes, and a buying scenario, you buy the shoes, they count the cash. Like,
there's at least
because the guy usually the other person counts the cash, and you count the cash, and you count the cash again. So it's like 3 times. Like, it's very rare when I'm meeting with somebody that somebody uses Venmo or PayPal. To be honest,
really.
So you're just making sure that cash is good.
At least that's
Yeah, and so they'll get the occasional question like, hit me up if you get these, or like
to do other deals.
Yeah, hit me up if you get these, or like I'm looking for these, something like that. And then they dap you up again, and then say like, appreciate it, and you.
Is it usually just one-on-one, or is it?
Yeah, I've had a few. I have 2 kind of weird encounters. I met up last summer. They're both at Oak Park Mall.
Okay,
I was selling,
that's like a main place, right?
Selling some Jordan 1s. I don't even remember what Jordan 1s now.
Whatever.
But I was selling some Jordan 1s. And so it was this guy buying them for his girlfriend. And so the dude gave me like $15 less. And I was like counting it, and he like tried to walk away. And I was like, yo, like this $15 less. And then like he tried to change the price we agreed on, even though it's like in clear plain text on Facebook messages. And so I'm like, yo, like, so I took the shoes back from him. I'm like, I can't give them to you. Like, you're not gonna pay the full price. Like, I bet he does to other people. Like, try to finesse. Like, if you get some kind of like, there's a lot of middle schoolers, like freshmen now, that are probably reselling that. They get caught in that trap and like, oh, it's fine. Yeah. But I'm just like, you give me my shoes back, even if this guy's like paying the high, and I'm not gonna be able to sell for high. I'm not gonna let the dude get away from that. So then he asked his girlfriend. So he had no cash on him. So he asked his girlfriend to Venmo me the extra money. And then I had another one where this dude bought 2 shoes, and I met him at Oak Park Mall. He came up with his son, and
so you saw all ages. I mean, it doesn't matter.
And so this dude was mass. This dude was built.
Like, are you ever scared, like, or nervous about?
I mean, public places, like if I get robbed, I'm on camera. I don't really care. I mean, honestly, I don't really care, but Like they're not gonna be, if they're stupid enough to do that, then they're gonna get caught.
Yeah.
And so he basically just flaked on me in person on one of the pairs because the price was too high, even though he already agreed to the price. And then and so then he bought finally, but he's trying to lowball. Then he tried to change the price another pair, and I was like, nah. And so I eventually convinced him to buy that other one, and he was like mad, and I was like, I don't understand that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
because you really don't know who they are, right? I mean, until you a little sketch, but
yeah.
I mean,
I've had some police like.
Yeah, he's a wild one. He has a wild one.
All right.
I mean, I can get it. Yeah, if we want to go.
Yeah. I mean, not too descriptive, but yeah.
So,
go ahead.
I'm not gonna mention any names, but this I was selling to like a D1 basketball player at a Power 5 conference.
School.
Yeah, he's a pretty high recruit. He's playing D1 college basketball, and he's from here, so he wanted to buy some shoes for me. And so I met up with him. It was an expensive pair of shoes. It was Travis Scott Air Forces. So I sold them for like $500-$600.
Okay.
I want to say, I can't remember if I got cash or Venmo, one of the two. And he legit checked him on the spot. He had his like buddies with him. They used the UV light to check the box in the shoes. They're like, yeah, it's good, man. So I leave. I'm like, all right, good. I sold to a D1 basketball player. He was so chill. It's a good meet up. And then like a couple hours later, I was like getting Chipotle, and I get a text, and he's like, yo, these are fake. I need my money back. And I'm like,
what? They're
not fake. And he's like, yeah, they are, dude. The stitching's messed up. But the Travis Scott Air Force stitching is like a little different than like a standard Air Force.
Okay.
And so I told him like, dude, the stitching's just like that. And he's like, nah, man.
It's that
I'm gonna get my people on you. And he sent like verified people were DMing me like, yo, like giving my boy his money back. Like people with like 50,000 followers like verified. I'm like, bruh. And so I didn't give him his money back. So I'm like, dude, all sales are final. I'm not gonna give you your money back. And so I was at my friend's house, and then eventually I get home and the cops are at my house.
What?
And I'm like, oh no. So I walk inside. My parents are talking to them, and the dudes found my address that I sold to, and they pulled up at my house, knocked on the door to try to talk to my parents. They're like yelling at them through the door. And so my dad like told him to leave and yelled at him, and then my mom called the cops because she was like, what in the world? So
how have I never heard of this?
So that happened, and nothing really happened after that. Like nothing substantial after that, but it's just kind of crazy that those dudes are psycho over real shoes.
One of the things, because you said like the no sales are final part, and a lot of people probably are like, oh, that means you were trying to scam them because you're not gonna take a refund or you can sell them again. But the thing people don't realize is that like it happens way too often. Is people will take the shoe, and they'll they have like a fake pair of it, and they'll basically switch it out. So they'll say like, oh, you sold this fake shoe, and they'll give you back a fake pair, but it's not the pair that you sold them. And so
now you're stuck with the fake pair.
They'll try to do that and try to get the refund. Oh. And so I mean, like I know George. George legit checks stuff pretty heavy, and he's like not selling foo stuff. Yeah,
you guys know. Yeah.
And I mean, so many times, especially those like athletes or like people that just are spending money, not like really like because there's people that are like some really big sneakerheads that have been collecting, everything about the shoe, and then there's people that are just like kind of like casual rich people, that like or like an athlete like that, and they're just like see something that's a little bit off that they don't know anything really about, and then they just think go berserk and they think they're getting scammed. But
and after you make a sale, if you have other people interested, you have to be like, sorry man, I can't give it to you, someone else bought it, or you have to like take it off of eBay or StockX if you have it posted anywhere else. So it's just an insane hassle. But
jeez.
Pretty insane stuff.
That's crazy, yeah. So when you get the shoes, like your inventory, you just buy them online, right? Is that, and then you try to do it as fast as possible?
Yeah.
Is that so? Big debate in the reselling world is bots, right? I mean,
I don't want to say reselling world, but maybe like sneaker world.
Okay, sure. So bots, short for robots, they're these little things that people use online to automatically purchase their shoes exactly when they release.
It's like checkout software, basically.
Okay.
And so they enter in your information, they can bypass.
Since the robots, they don't have to type in your credit card stuff. They don't have to worry about typos or anything like that. So people set up these bots to purchase these new shoes, sometimes probably within like milliseconds, right? I mean, or is it that
not
fast?
milliseconds, but within five.
I mean, they're the fastest, right?
Within a couple seconds, yeah.
Okay. So I know you guys don't use them, but I've asked Dabo this question before. If you keep growing your reselling brand, would you ever consider at some point?
Here's the thing: I could buy, I could buy any bot I wanted to right now, but you have to be like. There's a difference between having a bot and knowing how to bot, and knowing how to bot is insanely difficult. It can take a year to 2 years to finally become profitable because you're not only the bot itself doesn't really cost money because the bot itself is like an asset. There's lots of like bot trading sites like a StockX or a Goat where you can buy and sell the bots. And so really what you're buying is like servers and proxies and all this other stuff to make sure that your profiles are good, and you're buying like Gmails and stuff to make like put in to get this information to get as many pairs as possible because one pair is not going to like cut it. Like you can't like if you get one pair with a bot, I mean it's kind of a failure. You need to get like depending on the release, usually like 5 to 10 pairs.
Okay.
And so if it's like like an actual really good release, and maybe one pair does cut it, maybe 2 pairs does cut it, whatever.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, for that, I have to buy like a PC, which I don't have, that is a cost I have to do. But I can also just use slots. Other people run my profile for me, and it's way easier. I can make my own profiles and have somebody else run them on their bot, and I pay them a fee.
Okay.
So that for me is the easiest thing that I do instead of buying a bot, especially now with how people have bots because these companies have restocked over and over again. Like if you have to really know what you're doing and have been doing it for a while. And so even I get frustrated with bots too, though, because there'll be a restock and it'll be gone. Like I don't even have a chance. I can use there's Apple Pay or something like that, where that's like the fastest thing a manual user can use, and it's already gone. So I see people's frustrations with that.
Yeah. It must be really annoying. Yeah.
Like on a lot of places, bots aren't the ones getting it. Like Yeezy Supply, bots are kind of awful. And even like the one place that's really terrible is like Foot Locker, Foot Action, Champs, Eastbay. They're all the same, owned by the same company. I don't think it's possible to get a pair without a bot on those sites.
So it depends on the site.
It does because there's a lot of sites that have huge protections. Like they'll be like, because if it's a Jordan shoe, they'll be like, what Jordan shoe released in like 1993, and so like that's something that a bot wouldn't really know.
Oh, you have to like answer those questions.
Yeah, so they'll make it like. Or like what color is an orange is the one that's really common. And it's orange, obviously, but it makes it harder for the bot and having those cues.
So you just have to program it.
Or there's a lot of companies that do. If they have multiple orders from the same like address, person, whatever, they like cancel them. They'll ban the person. One of the things that some companies have done, I think Sneaker Politics did this. It's really smart, and what they did was like the bots, when they're trying to find the product on the site, so there's keywords you use. So out there would be Yeezy 350. So like the keywords would be Yeezy 350, V2, men's.
The tags.
There's tags of them basically.
Yeah.
And so what the company will do is they'll load that in for like an insanely high price, like $600, right? That's way over the resale value. So the bot will automatically check it out, or they'll load something different. They'll put it under that name. And it's actually just like a Roshi run, and they check out like 100 pairs of them. And like the reseller screw, they can't cancel the order, whatever. And then like Better Generation does it with their app, where they do the same thing. They put the price as $1,000, and then they have a promo code they put on their Instagram exactly when the shoes drop. They have to type into the app. So
and the bots don't know that?
That way, well, I mean, you'd have to go back and then plug it into your bot, which would take more time than actually typing it in yourself.
Okay.
So
all right.
Those are 2 really smart things, which I don't know. Those are like smaller, like more boutique stores. So like for a national store, I really don't know how that would work.
But they're trying to not. They're not like helping the bots or anything. They're trying to stop that from happening. Or?
Yeah, stores hate bots pretty much.
I mean, and like Nike, they do the sneakers app. So I mean, you can bot profiles, but those profiles have a lower chance.
Okay, yeah, because bots are used for like internet, right? On the internet, right?
Yeah, I mean, people use them for the PS5, and I think that was the biggest thing that people were frustrated about.
The PS5.
They couldn't produce that many PS5s as like, people wanted, and so that's like I couldn't buy a PS5. That's how hard it was. Like, you know how many places released PS5s? Like, there's a million PS5s out there because the demand's so high. They're still reselling. I couldn't even get one.
I couldn't get one either.
And I'm a reseller who knows all the ins and outs of all the sites, getting the inside info because most people who are doing it, and a lot of those sites weren't prepared, like Best Buy, Target,
Walmart, any of those.
Yeah, they weren't prepared for all that stuff. So that was really difficult. I know people that got like 100 PS5s because they're insanely good botters, and those sites weren't prepared.
Jeez. I don't understand that.
They made tens of thousands of dollars.
That's crazy.
So
the things people do.
Kind of on a rant right there.
No, you're fine. That's great. That's insane information. I mean, I tried to buy a PS5, but I have no idea what I'm doing.
We got PS5 for like the resale value, but
it was back in December, November, and it said the next sale was like March or April. So
and they're trying to make as many as possible, but the production lines.
That's crazy. Yeah.
COVID.
So when you get the shoes, I mean, obviously you're not to sell most of the shoes, but do you ever just keep ones that you would normally sell for yourself? Like, everybody buys shoes, but
I'll let George go first because I spoke for a while.
Okay.
No, you're good.
I have like, you know what I mean?
I feel like I have too many shoes and clothes. Like, I feel like my collection's like,
or that you wear.
It's a little. I try to sell off a little bit, but at one point it's pretty crazy.
Like, how many shoes would you like normally? Or I guess
I probably had like
clothes is different.
30, 25 shoes I wore.
Bruh.
I mean,
I have like one per year.
Yeah, I mean, it was, and then I probably have like from like brands like Supreme and like OVO, like Undefeated.
Insane how many shirts this man has.
Yeah, I have a ton.
Yeah. Like probably above 50, probably 60.
Yeah, it was like 70 at one. I think it was like 70 like streetwear. Like, that's not counting like my like everyday like, athletic shirts. Yeah. Like just like streetwear shirts. It was a little much, so I can't even get around to wearing them. So it's whatever.
That's funny.
Yeah,
you're not really the clothes type of.
Yeah, I mean,
but shoes wise,
Undefeated. Shout out George.
Gotta get that sizing right though. I gave him a birthday gift of his. Since he gave me a Travis Scott shirt for my birthday, and then I gave him a couple other shirts, but the sizing was too big, so he needs to shrink them.
Yeah,
stinky. Hopefully he can shrink it.
I definitely can, because it's 100% cotton, which is like easy to shrink.
Oh, that's
So that happens to me constantly, especially stuff you get for retail. Because if you get it for retail and it's your size, like I can still sell this, make profit if I wanted to. So I can't tell you how many times I've hit on like Adidas Confirmed app, and I'm just like, I want to keep these. I mean, I had to sell off the Cream 700 V2s. Like I would keep them in my room for a while, and then eventually I realized I'm not even wearing them, and I just sell them. So the Kyanite V3s, I sold those.
Yeah.
Bread 350s, I sold those. What else did I sell? Right, Onyx 380s, I sold those.
These shoes, right? And then it's like...
Yeah, Onyx 380s, I sold those.
The temptation is very high.
It's huge.
Yeah,
and you put them on your feet, and you're like, oh, these are like actually sick. Like,
you look in the mirror, you're like, dude, these are tough.
But at the end of the day, there's very few shoes that like, because like you... I mostly just wear these because they're the easiest, and so
just Ultra Boost.
Yeah, and so you have to match with the outfit. And I'm trying to put together like a huge outfit every day, So if I do keep a shoe, it's usually something I can wear every single day.
Okay.
And
but some of those other ones you just
or one like the Stussy Air Forces that I bought, like I've worn those probably like less than 5 times, but I wanted those shoes. They've gone up like $150 since I bought them, so I'm chilling if I want to sell them.
Yeah.
But I wanted them so bad, and they're still just like some of the coolest shoes I've ever owned. So I just keep them. And
you're keeping them?
Yeah, I still have them
until you want to sell them.
Until I want to sell them, or just keep them. whatever that happens. But to me, it's like there's another reason. I can't remember who said it, but like when you're buying something like that, you got to think of it as like an asset, not a liability, which sounds kind of like Gary Vee cringe, but but like people that buy, a lot of people do that with watches too. They buy a really expensive watch because they know it's going to go up in value. It's already used, whatever. Cars, same thing. People do that all the time.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm going to enjoy this thing, but I also know that it's not worthless.
Yeah.
Because there's also people that buy a lot, like designer stuff. That's one of the big things. If you're buying designer clothing and designer shoes and all that, pretty much after you put it on your body, it's worthless. It is. Nobody wants to buy it. Because the people that are buying the designer stuff for really high retail values, they're not going to be buying used stuff. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times that stuff goes on. I'm not going to say that, and it's not true for everybody, obviously, but stuff with streetwear and sneakers, I mean, the used market is insanely, it's huge. It's huge. People would rather, especially because there's a lot of like kids doing it, they're trying to afford it more.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot cheaper to buy used stuff. Personally, I don't really wear any used things. I buy everything that I get, just brand new.
Premium.
Yeah, because I don't know. I just do.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's personal.
It's easier to look at checks.
Yeah. So, but does it ever dip? I would assume.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff dips.
To be fair, it's actually never happened with the stuff that I bought.
Really?
To wear. I've never had it.
That means you're smart though, then,
well,
right?
I also buy it like right when it releases because I know that. I mean, there's a chance it goes down, but if I'm selling it in a couple of years, the market's going to be higher. I'm not buying it like in the middle at its peak. I don't think I've done that with any shoe.
Sakai's.
The Sakai's bought them right at the beginning. They're insane now.
I'm talking about. Remember? Never mind.
I'll ask him after the show.
Okay.
But yeah. So I don't know. Have you run into that problem, George?
Personally,
buying them and it just goes way down.
I've never had obviously like actually I don't know. Yeah, when I buy shoes to like sell them eventually, sometimes they've gone down. I know Dabo's like had that problem also, but personal like shoes.
Oh yeah.
I never have had that happen, which is honestly pretty clutch. Yeah. But it's also like I'm not buying like a super like volatile shoe to wear right away. So I mean that's part of it.
Huh.
That's very true.
Okay. I got probably one more question. Okay. We're gonna try to keep these just a little bit shorter too for the podcast. Just for the average view duration, all that analytical stuff. Since this is an industry, I mean, it's a full-on business, there's got to be competition. So, who's the competition here? Is there...
I guess you could say it's other resellers. Though the main... back in the day, this isn't... I don't know, it's still somewhat prevalent, but not as much. Like, back in the day, like, undercutters were just so annoying because...
Oh, it's worse today. It's worse.
Okay. Yeah, like, so you're on StockX, you get a shoe, let's just say them cost $300.
Okay.
You're like... All right, so I just want to get rid of this shoe. I'll price mine at $295. So I'm like, I got the lowest price. Someone wants to buy me. Then the next kid comes along. They're like, I can go even lower. Let's go $288. And it keeps getting lower.
It's like the opposite of a bid.
Exactly. And then you eventually get to a point where after fees and shipping and everything, you're making less than what you paid. Like that's happening a lot.
So that's supply and demand. Yeah. Like just meeting at that like point.
Eventually, yeah.
But a lot of it also too is just people that like this isn't like a people that are really business people. They're just people that are selling stuff, and a lot of time they like a lot of the times somebody will, and this happens I can't even tell you how many times this happens, but people will buy things just to have the fact that they've owned them for a period of time. And so they'll buy it and they'll sell it for less than they bought it for because they can say that they owned that shoe. They want to just own that. I can't tell you how many times it happened. There's people at our school. Like it's insane, and that happens. I just know it a ton with people that get stuff. Like Jordan 1 lows and Jordan 1 mids. They're not as like hyped up, I guess you could say, as Jordan 1 highs. So they're kind of like we call bricks, which means they're not super high. They're high value, but you can buy them in quantity and they'll be worth it, and they're still in demand, and they're way more mass produced. Mm-hmm. And so you see with that, there's really almost like at the beginning and towards the middle of when they kind of started rolling out in stores, which is probably like November 2019, I want to say. Okay. Or like kind of like August, like fall winter 2019, whatever. But like there was a lot of great resale on them. You could sell them for a good price. And nowadays they're pumping out so many. It's insane, and nothing is. They've raised the retail. They raised retail from like $90 all the way up to some that's $130 now for these. For some of them, Wow. And then the resale has also gone down from $200 to that's $140, and so basically you're just paying the same thing as after tax and shipping if you're buying them for resale, and so you can only do it with coupons or employee discount or knowing somebody or stuff like that. And just the whole market in general is so oversaturated. I mean, George can attest to this. Like a few weeks ago, he's like, I just looked at StockX, and I don't know like 90% of these shoes. I've never seen them before.
There's like there's not many good shoes anymore.
There's I gotta say, there's probably more than 20 releases a week. And that might seem insane.
Back when like a couple, 2 or 3 years ago, it was so much less.
We're talking about planned releases, which is like your Off-White, your Air Jordan Retro, your Yeezy Boost.
There's not much of those.
And then there's a ton of those going on each week. You know, Adidas released maybe 2 things, Air Jordan releasing maybe 3 things. You got your Nike Air releasing maybe a couple things, and then you also have like your just rollout releases, which are like Dunks and also like Jordan mids and Jordan lows that are just basically just being sold at whenever the company gets them. So there's not like most releases that are like big happen on a single day at a single time. For every single site. Then these rollout releases, they just happen over the course of a few weeks. Whenever the store gets them, they just post them randomly. And so things go unnoticed, or they're planned a couple of days in advance, and a single site's releasing them. And so it is so oversaturated now. I would say if you haven't been reselling for at least 6 months to a year, it's like near impossible to get into it now.
Really?
Because I mean, you're not gonna know where to start. Okay. I like being, I guess, experienced. I can say
experienced. Yeah.
I can know like the ins and outs of certain apps and websites and what to buy and how to know to buy it, and like I know how to find buyers, I guess, and stuff like that, and how to predict. Like I can predict basically what the price is going to be after the release, and you're like pretty accurately within the $20-$30 range. And so, now, I mean, it's just there's just so much stuff. If you're not in some kind of if you're not in a Discord group that has posting information, you're basically screwed. Yeah. Like you're basically screwed unless you are one of those people that just sells to people on Facebook all the time, and you just have all those connections within your own community. That's another way that I know a lot of people do, and they make a lot of good money. But there is also a certain cap to that, because you can't get higher than a certain amount of people that's living in your community. There's people on social media that I know. I'm not gonna say that. I guess I can say them if you need me to. But there's a bunch of people where it's like the sky's the limit. Like there's just exponential growth until like you can just grow forever until they open a store or they have employees and stuff like that. You can't do that if you're just selling to your community. But at the same time, that top echelon that even I have not reached, or George has not reached, or really anybody in Canada. Well, there's one person I can think of that could possibly be doing that. Yeah. It's just very, very few of them, so it's just easier to just make the money now. But I mean, anybody can go and enter on the sneakers app. Anybody can sign up for the dozens of raffles for every single shoe, and they're going to hit occasionally. And that's on good release, that's an easy $500 in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to be like a reseller. You can just sign up for it on the release days. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's just so. Yeah, it's you just got to find your thing, I guess.
Find your thing.
Yeah.
There you go.
George bought all the clothes. I could never sell clothes. I couldn't move a single. All I could move was a CD GT for $5 profit.
It has a great backstory.
Yeah.
So. I love the CD GT.
But George over here can make $1 million at a convention. Selling shirts, but. So shoes are more my thing.
Yeah.
And,
gotta find your thing.
Find your niche.
Well, you're right there. Find your thing.
Put that on a t-shirt.
I like the find your thing.
GeoUpShop.com, go buy it.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
G might come back. We'll see.
Treasure hunts.
We'll see. All right. Thank you all for watching or listening. We've got maybe some good ones in the works. Don't really know what's going on from here, but we'll kind of see. It's kind of fun to do. So
yeah.
Well, I know we'll probably do one on YouTube on the, everything back on YouTube. I'll probably talk a little bit about that, and then maybe some other guests on. Huh? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
See
you, everybody. Shout out.
Oh, let's shout out these nuts. Shout the other resellers. We got Canvas Hyatt, Mason Fly Kicks. Joko Kicks.
Wow.
Sewer Rat Kicks.
All right. See you guys. Peace.